What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Three-Sided Box Prediction Center here for the NHL Playoffs. Now, the last time you saw any of us on camera was the few days before the big one, as we like to call it in this house. This is officially the home of the 2018 Super Bowl champions, Philadelphia Eagles, baby. We did it! We fucking did it! I still can't believe it. I'm wearing my shirt because I don't watch hockey anymore because my team, the Ottawa Senators, for those who are new, are complete and utter trash. So with that, welcome to Prediction Center. If you're new to this is our format. We predict stuff. We're usually wrong. And when we're right, it's because we're lucky. I'm an Ottawa Senators fan. He's a Nashville Predators fan. Our rule is we cannot pick our own teams. My team's not in it, so I have free range for everything. This time last year, both our teams were in it. Both our teams went really far. His a little bit further than mine. Both of us ultimately came out empty. I might be even more so empty come this summer. Alright?
That's a different story.
That's why we're the champions of the world in football, baby.
Make up for it, right?
Exactly. Alright, guys, so let's jump in. Round one. Let's do some Eastern Conference.
Eastern Conference.
The number one seed, the Tampa Bay Lightning, hosting for 4 out of potential 7 games, the New Jersey Devils. What do you got? How many?
Well, look, Tampa hasn't played its best hockey ever since the All-Star break. New Jersey had basically were in playoff mode basically throughout the whole season. They're the last seed to come in. Taylor Hall's been playing as a Hart Trophy candidate, if not the favorite. So it's an interesting series. Ultimately, I do think that the Lightning's depth and talent will be the deciding factor. I think that it's going to be really hard for the Devils to go into Tampa and win a game. And I know that they're undefeated maybe in regular season, but that's a different story. So I got the Lightning in 6 games.
Yeah, I'm going to give the Lightning, I'm going to say 5. I'll give them 6.
The Devils are a good team, man. Devils are a good team.
6. Yeah, well, I'll give the Lightning 6. I like Stamkos, Kucherov, Kuznetsov. Sorry.
No, Kucherov. Kuznetsov.
Yes, it's with Washington, correct. These Ovs and the Ks are bothering me. Anyways,
Russians, man.
100-point season. You know, McDonough on that blue line with Hedman could be a lethal force. We got Vasilevsky
and Stralman.
And Stralman. We have Vasilevsky and Nets, who only make saves behind his back.
Yeah.
It's this team. I would love for them to win the cup.
I mean, look, I know you hate him, but like when you have Chris Kunitz on your 4th line wing, like you have a pretty good team.
Penguins had him there too.
No, but regardless.
Anyways, all right. So both of us are Lightning 6. Next game.
All right. So next up, we got a really good matchup. 2 original 6 teams going at it. That is the Boston Bruins and the Toronto Maple Leafs, with Boston hosting, of course. They're close to the President's Trophy. But anyways, make your pick.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one because both teams have been playing pretty well lately. Boston a little more so. They were a good team all year, but lately they've been really picking up the pace and almost became the number 1 seed in the East.
In the whole league, actually.
There you go. So, I know Billy Bruins, a.k.a. Billy Burr, Bill Burr, big Boston fan, and I'm a big Toronto hater because I'm a Senators fan. Not as much as I hate the Habs, though. I'm going to give it to Boston in 7. It's going to be a close series. Toronto's good, but I don't think they're there yet. They're John Tavares piece away from being a legitimate Stanley Cup contending team.
And a very solid, like,
defenseman.
4th defenseman.
Yeah. 3rd, 4th defenseman. Like, second pairing guy.
Yeah.
And maybe even a slightly better goalie. Even though Anderson's having a pretty good year, I don't know if he's like that level goalie yet. It's yet to be seen, but he's a pretty solid goalie. But I think John Tavares is the guy to push them over the hump more so than anything else. But that's not this year, so Bruins in 7.
I'm going to agree with you. I'm going to say Bruins in 6. And I know maybe Leafs fans are going to be thinking, oh, well, you know, we took the Capitals to 6 games last year. We have a much better team this year. Well, it doesn't matter because this year you're playing the Boston Bruins, who have this crazy youth movement, who have Just everybody doubted them, and they proved everybody wrong. One of the more consistent teams in the league, and they have a lot of weapons top to bottom that you may not have heard of. I think they're the deeper team. I think that they're going to take care of business at home, get one on the road, and finish it off in 6.
All right. Well, we got the Bruins. Next game. All right. Next up, we got the Washington Capitals, who tend to always make the playoffs, facing off against the surprising-ish Columbus Blue Jackets, who have been good the last 2-3 years. Still a very underrated team, though. Don't get much credit in the media and whatnot. Who do you got?
Well, I personally think that this is a big upset series. Well, if you want to call it that, and I don't really see it as that. Columbus has lost maybe 3-4 games in regulation since like mid-February, end of March. They're definitely one of the top teams.
February, end of March?
Yeah, well, regulation I'm saying. They lost them in overtime, but they've been playing great hockey. I mean, as of late, they're one of... Well, yeah, they went on like a 10-0 streak or 9-0-1. They went on like some crazy streak. They're definitely one of the hotter teams in the league, and as we know, it's not necessarily the best team that wins, it's the team that plays the best near the end of the season that ends up winning, especially in hockey. So actually, I'm going to go with the Columbus Blue Jackets in 7. I know that they haven't won a playoff series, but man, Washington, it's just, to me, it's the end of an era. I know that they're still going to have a good team for years to come, but their window has closed, and Columbus has just opened.
Did they win any games last year, Columbus?
Yeah, it went 6 or 5. 5.
I was going to say they're going to get swept, but I was saying that in the hopes of that they haven't won a game.
No.
So I'm going to say Caps in 5. I don't believe their window is closed. I think it's closing. It's closing fast. But they got Ovechkin is... If there's one guy in this playoffs that deserves the Stanley Cup more than anybody, it's him. Is he going to win it? Who knows, but I think they're going to beat the Jackets. I got them in 5. And I got the Capitals in 5, you got the Jackets in 7. Next game.
Alright, so next up, we got, in my opinion, one of the more exciting series of round 1. This is the Battle of Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh Penguins hosting the Philadelphia Flyers.
Home of the Philadelphia Eagles, Super Bowl 52 champions.
There's a little bit of magic going on in Philly with all the teams doing well. What's your pick?
I really hope the city of Philadelphia goes far, wins the cup. And I say the city because I'm not a Flyers fan, but obviously I'm a diehard Eagles fan. Nova just won their second NCAA championship in, 3 years? 4 years?
3.
The Phillies got Jake the Snake Arrieta, great pitcher. Sixers are having a surprisingly really good year, and a lot of analysts are saying they're going to the East Final, where they'll inevitably lose to LeBron and the Cavs. But I digress. I'm going to pick the Flyers to win this one in 7 games. I really like them. Please destroy our rivals in because I'm one with the city in different ways, but our cross-state rivals in Pittsburgh. So Flyers in 7.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I know it sounds like a surprising pick and kind of like we're hating. You definitely have to respect the Penguins and what they've done in the past 2 years. But if there's anybody who could surprisingly beat them, it's their rival. It's like the Habs and Bruins. You just take the records out of the book. It's like Eagles and Cowboys. It doesn't matter what the records are. Anybody could beat anybody on any given night.
Well, we win Super Bowls.
Yeah.
I mean, they have 5. But haven't won, they won 2 games in 20 years. Yeah. Where,
But anyways, we're not talking about that.
All right.
So I got the Flyers in actually 6 games. I think that they could do some damage, and I know a lot is riding on their goaltending, but as long as I don't know, it's just like there's some magic there. It's kind of a gut pick. I'll be honest. The Pens are the better team by far, but it's just like something going on with Philly, that rivalry. I just think that it's just a perfect storm for the Flyers to upset the Penguins. So Flyers in 6.
Alright, so we both got the Flyers. I got them in 7. You got them in 6. Move on to the West. Next game.
Alright, so for the Western Conference, our first matchup is my Nashville Predators, the President's Trophy winners. One of the best teams in the league, going up against the upstart Colorado Avalanche, who came off an abysmal season last year and have the biggest point differential from 2 seasons in NHL history, and have again another leading candidate for the Hart in McKinnon. I can't pick; it's our rule, so I'll pass it on to you.
I'll pick the Preds in 5. Preds in 5. Avalanche mostly no experience in the playoffs. Preds just came off obviously a Stanley Cup run where they didn't win, but deep run with most of the same team intact. Got a couple of former Hawks in there. Usually that's what pushes you over the edge. That's how teams usually do it. We have to pick off the sloppy seconds of the greatest franchise to ever play the sort of hockey of the last decade. Who are currently taking a summer vacation off, a much needed break. 10 years of dominance. Every now and then you need a little nap,
This is about the Blackhawks.
But I'm gonna pick the Preds in 5.
Okay.
Go on your rant.
I'm not gonna go on much. The Avs are top heavy. They have that line, Landeskog, McKinnon, and Rantanen. They have Tyson Barrie. Eric Johnson is out, and so is Semyon Varlamov, and Steve Bernier is going to nets. Definitely a lot. We're definitely the favorites, and we should win. But
Former Duck.
But yeah, former Duck. He shit the bed basically in Game 6 against us. Anyways, point is that we're the favorite. We should win this, but we should have lost last year technically by people's standards to the Blackhawks and to the Ducks. So anything could happen. I have confidence in my team to win this series.
Alright, so I got the Preds in 5. Let's see what happens. Next game. Next up in the Western Conference, we got the Minnesota Wild heading into Winnipeg for the whiteout to face the Jets. Jets franchise going back to Atlanta have never won a single playoff game. Got swept one time with the Thrashers, one time as the Jets. Because of that, I'm picking that trend to continue. Jets are going to get swept by the Wild in a huge upset because the amount of hype, at least here in Canada, that the Jets have gotten this year is absolutely disgusting. Okay? They are a good team, not a great team, with no goaltending. Okay? Connor Hellebuyck is not a good goalie. He is not a Stanley Cup winning goalie. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't actually hate the Jets. Okay? But I don't see it happening. The Wild have a bunch of veteran players. Eric Stahl revitalized his career this year. Had probably the quietest fucking season maybe ever, let alone just this year. And Parise, rough year. I think he could easily pick it up. They lost Suter,
a lot of depth,
but they got some good guys. And I don't even like the Wild. I hate Minnesota. I don't like that city that much. I don't like.
You mean Patrick Kane's team, right? That's
exactly. There is the CEO, and his name will be engraved on the cup if they ever win it. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. Wild in 4.
Well, I do think Wild in 4 is very, very
bold.
It's on the verge of stupidity, but I digress. Point is, I'm gonna agree with you on the Wild winning this series. And you mentioned Connor Hellebuyck, and he has had a very good season. People are saying he's in like the top 3 or 4 in terms of Vezina candidates. Statistically at least, and he's been their workhorse. But the thing is that we all know come playoff time, it doesn't matter who's good or who's bad in the regular season. It's who could do it now. I think with the amount of hype they're getting, if they're a lower seed, I might have picked them to win. But I think because people are saying they're kind of on our level, they're kind of on the Ducks level, the Kings level, all those teams that have been there, are experienced veteran groups that know how to get it done. People are thinking that they're on that level. Comes playoff time, man, that pressure is going to get you 10 times harder. And the Wild have a very good system of shutting down the team. Boring, trap game, but good luck getting through that team. I would say watch out if the Wild take one game in Minnesota, in Winnipeg. So I'm going to take the Wild in 6 games.
Wild in 6. I got Wild in 4. Either way, the Jets lose. Next game.
Next up, we got the surprising Las Vegas Golden Knights hosting the Los Angeles Kings, the revamped, underrated Los Angeles Kings, might I add. Make your pick.
Kings in 4. Another sweep.
Another sweep.
Golden Knights do not belong there. It's a goddamn embarrassment to hockey that they're there. I don't care that.
It's good for hockey. It's good for hockey, right?
It's good for the first year team, expansion team makes the playoffs, has a 100-point season. Okay, can we did everybody forget the fact that we were angry that teams like Anaheim, Los Angeles, Florida, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Dallas, fucking Texas, all these cities most of them have won cups, might I add. All right, where a Canadian team hasn't won a cup since the Habs won one in '93. All right, you were always angry at that. We're all, as Canadians at least, okay, we're always angry that these teams down south that have these shit fans don't deserve anything, have these teams that are good. Yet now we conveniently forgot about that because it's an expansion team in Las Vegas. They're in a fucking desert. The city's not supposed to be there. How many people actually live there? Okay, and it's a stupid, ignorant thing to say. I know there's actual people that live there, and I know they have fans. Hey, your team's gonna be playing football there in a couple of years. All right, go Raiders. Dude, I'm sorry, they're shit. This time next year, they're going to be the bottom feeders of the league. I hope Ottawa switches places with them and we have a 100-point year, so I can really fucking not be depressed and kill myself. Anyways, Golden Knights are getting swept. They have no chance. Alright, when your best player is a bum, alright, James Neal, alright, that's when you know that you're a bunch of scumbags. And hey,
come back
last time Los Angeles was completely forgotten about, they won a Stanley Cup. And the Hawks aren't in their way to stop them. Kings for me. And 4.
I'm going to agree with you on the Kings. Thing is with the Golden Knights, the problem with them is that although they have a lot of depth, their top line is carrying a lot of that load. William Karlsson, Jonathan Marchessault, and the other guy, Alex Tush. I don't know how to fucking pronounce his name. Anyways, and when it comes down to LA, they have championship formula to win a Stanley Cup, aka lowest goals against. They are almost impossible to score against. When you get through that great defense, you have to go through Jonathan Quick, one of the best playoff goalies of this generation. All right, it's not easy.
Look in that direction.
All right, and with that being said, it's going to be hard for the upstart Vegas Knights to go up against that. I'm picking the Kings in 6. They're going to finish it at home, and they're gonna end up stealing one in Vegas.
All right, next game. And in typical fashion, the 2 other teams that play in California are also not playing far away from each other. First being LA playing Vegas, which it's Vegas on California, but it's only an hour flight. And now we have the Ducks and the Sharks, 2 California teams, which are actually further away than Vegas and Los Angeles.
Much further away.
But still not far at all. Alright, who you got? The Goons against the Fish.
Look, I'll be honest. If there's one series that I think is a complete toss-up, you could flip a coin, you have no idea who's going to win, I think this is it. There's always one in every year, and I think this is definitely it. San Jose is missing Joe Thornton. Ducks are missing Cam Fowler. Both are good teams. Both have a strong rivalry. In the end,
Ducks are good.
They are a good team. They're just fucking dirty. Let's just call it what it is. They're just the dirtiest team in hockey. Okay. Anyways, both have had their inconsistencies. Sharks a little bit less, but Ducks more because of injuries. With that being said, I'm gonna go with the Sharks in this one. In 7 games, very, very tight 7 games. I'm not too confident on this pick, but if I had to do one, it'd be the Sharks. I just think that they have the depth on defense, and I think Martin Jones is going to come up big. I'm not a big believer in Gibson, even though he is a good goalie. I just think that he lets in some soft ones in the playoffs, and Pavelski and guys like that are going to make him pay.
All right, I got the Ducks in 6. I don't believe in the Sharks. I never did, even when they went to the Cup final. They're not a team that scares me. Brent Burns is a good defenseman. They have Pavelski, who's good. They have Thornton, who's good but out. I was going to say Marlowe, but he's with Toronto.
Kane.
They have Evander Kane, who's never played a playoff game in his life, so good luck with that. And they're playing against Getzlaf and Perry, who have championship rings. You know, I would know 11 years ago this summer. So, Ducks in 6.
Ducks in 6. Huh?
Ducks in 6. Quack, quack, quack.
Goon.
Alright, with that, thanks so much for watching, everybody. There will be a podcast with more in-depth detail that will probably run about an hour long if anybody's interested. With a preview of the first round. Will be out probably a little bit after this video is out, so subscribe to stay tuned for that. And with that, we will see you all. Smash that
like.
What were you about to say?
I was gonna say you have to.
Smash that like button, not video. Shout out to the 3 people that actually watch our NFL predictions. Subscribe if you haven't. Share the video with your friends. We appreciate the love. Post your picks down below so we can laugh with and at each other. It's always fun. Let's hope Ottawa is back in the playoffs come next year, because I'm completely dead inside when it comes to hockey. But I'm thriving in football more than ever. And I'm a champion. And it's just... No, it's not the reverse, because you're not a champion. Alright? You're not a fucking champion like I am. Alright? Fly Eagles fly, baby. E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles will see you all for round 2. Take care.